What is up, crawler fans, RC enthusiasts, and social media surfers? I'm your boy Josh with Texoma RC, and today we are looking at a super awesome customer rig. My buddy Daniel, thank you for being patient. Thanks for asking for the stuff that was not ready, so that I had to get it all done. Look at him. Oh my gosh, dude. So, thing is super duper bad. Let's go ahead and pop this lid off here. So, somebody said, I'm not real sure about where you're going with this one. Well, dude, it's a freaking cab mount that I think looks pretty rad. It's just a little buggy on its own, you know what I'm saying? Obviously by itself, maybe not the most Texoma style thing you ever seen, but it still looks freaking cool. So there, dude. We are running the Gens Ace 4S 200 mAh battery. It's gonna slide in just like this. I rotate it up. Super hard to do with one hand here. Trying to get the wire where I want it. That's all right, we'll fix it. So we slide this guy in right over here like that. The balance plug tucks in right up here. All right, there we go. We got our balance plug tucked. Wire comes up. Easy access from the top right here. Also, you can see right here, the wire is actually along the upper link. Same with the servo wire. You can see there is a little bit of a tab right there and right there. Just something to run the wire underneath. Keep it looking clean, away from the motor, out of the tires, dude. And we got the same thing going on in the rear. You can see the tab right there, right there. Super clean. Super clean. All right, so these tires that I'm running here, little Amonzonian specials. I don't know that I'm gonna put the link in. I don't know that they're actually really that great, or it's worth putting in this much time with all the other tires. I just ordered them. They were super duper hard. I sprayed them with WD-40 in the bag they came in after removing the foams. Just completely soaked them, massaged the bag so they were completely covered, left the bag open and to dry out. Came back, did it again, total of 4 times over 2 weeks. And then I came and cut all the lugs off. So they feel pretty freaking awesome. Whatever. So we are just running the XHX or Endura Klingon foams. They're just the gray foams. They're quality foams. Definitely like them. Once you put them on the rattler, the outside edge of the foam is going to be a little bit tight. Come back and clip halfway to 2/3 of the way through your foam every 10 millimeters, half inch, quarter inch, whatever you want to do, just to go ahead and give the outside a little bit of more squish. Works great. And then we have a tuning ring, new tuning ring. I will show all these things off with the parts, but we're not going to do that right now. But you can see hard inside edge, soft outside edge. So let's go put these things on the rocks, dude. I will be driving my rig also in the video, just so I can show off a little bit of my rear steer skill using the one-handed radio. Let's go ahead and show that off. Look at this steering though. Look at this. This is front and rear. Absolutely savage. Also, quick talk, my rear axle is clocked. You can see how it leans back this way, right? I also learned that it is great to have the rear C-hub clocked at that same angle. It kind of makes the wheel lean back. You see that? Look, in comparison, you see the different angles on the two tires. They're totally going different ways. So it may look a little bit weird, but it drives amazing. I tried the other way and had to come back to this because this felt so much better. It gives just an awesome feel going through V's. It allows awesome corrections. You just have to show and listen in the video, and as it happens, I'll try to talk about it. So there we go, dude. Let's get him on the rocks. We'll go run him around with the body, and like I said, I will put mine on the rocks. That's set up about the same, similar tires, Amonzonian specials. They went through the same process and running the same way. So anyways, we'll get that on the rocks here. Let's get it out there. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's run it on the rocks. Man, I hope you guys are doing good. Dan, thanks for your patience in this rig and your part in keeping us going. Check them out. We tried to pull the line. Oh my gosh, just not quite enough. The long rig, a little bit narrower wheelbase than I was running.
My bad, bro.
Gosh, we'd have to try that a couple times. If we could just run the rear steer, dude. Excuses.
Without my radio.
It's so freaking hard to do this, by the way. This is my first time ever attempting to run this, by the way, one-handed. And then I'm off screen. You could tell that I'm going off screen a lot. You could tell that I'm having to think a lot by when I go off screen.
Not normal for me.
Happens.
This
Overall,
butter is
I
a
was
little bit
super
spicy.
duper pleased
Jeez.
with the tires, these Amonzonian
much.
specials, dude. I will put the link in the description. Showing off a little bit of snappiness there. This thing is
The
just
rear is
awesome.
not tracking
A
where
little
I
bit
want
of
it to. My
tuning just to
thumb
really
keeps
get
hitting
it
it
dialed
every
in.
time.
Even on my one that I drive, I know by the end of the pack I do really well. But just starting off and then especially adding the camera really made it hard. Really made it hard. But that's okay. It's hard. It's fun. We can do all the tricks though, dude. Look at this guy.
Jeez,
Freaking
it's so
awesome.
freaking touchy.
Absolutely savage. Control, dude. Look at this. Try to stay out of the lava. Stay out of the lava. Stay out of the lava, dude. Don't touch the lava. Kind of touching the lava.
Gosh, dude.
That's full-blown roasted, dude. You're in lava. You're screwed. Let's go. So, obviously, we've been crazy freaking busy. I do apologize to everybody that I am behind. It does mean a lot to me. I am stressed the F out just on how far behind I am. So, I do apologize.
It's so hard to get him
but I
where I
will
want
be
to
getting
go.
caught up. We got all this stuff done. Everything is done. There's no more freaking stuff to do. Well,
See right
that's
there,
not
okay,
true.
see that's what I was talking about. See that how
I
it's
do want to
stepping
do
down?
the
It
portal,
might look
but that's going to
weird,
be in like a
but
week or
because
so,
of
2
the
weeks.
angle
I
of
want
that
to do a
rear
rear
tire,
portal for
it's
this
going
guy
to step and
for
push
the
through
TRX
this
parts.
in a
Probably
way
not
that
the
if it was
SCX
not
parts
angled like
because
that, it
there's no
wouldn't
way to
wanna
turn the
do.
differential really. Well, you can turn the differential, but we don't have the correct gearing, so that's not going to happen. So, but we will be having the TRX Mias portal for this guy, for the Slayer X. Yeah, it's just going to be for the Slayer X because it has to be for the transmission. There you go, dude. That's how it's got to be. Well, it's the worm gears. You have to have the worm gears. You can't use the TRX differential. You have to use a worm gear. And we don't have a good source on reverse cut worm gears. I don't know why this isn't a thing by now.
There it is, dude.
It should be a given. I've told Nick. I've recommended
Dude, the
it.
rears
He's been
just
asked
needed
many
to change.
times.
God,
We never
it's so
got
hard
it.
to
Why?
drive this
I don't
one-handed.
freaking know. But other than that, and I guess a freaking
wanna get
SOA.
but I
We
wanna
got to
show
actually
it
have
off
a
his
SOA
rig, dude.
for the
It's
front
so
axle
good. It's
for
just so hard for me to
the
drive
class 2 rigs to be able to run the axles. So we're going to have to build a SOA build. It's just make it. It's not going to be that hard. That's just something that has to be done. So we will do that. But I have the BOA, the SOA riser, and the riser. We can run the differentials for TRX or the differentials for SCX24. Rear steer on both. Setup just the same with the 0 degree
I need a
rear
trigger, bro.
clock on the C
Where's my
hub
radio?
instead of the 15 degree like it's on the front. So I am in the process of getting all these things like sorted and being able to have the listings. There's incredible amount of freaking parts because the TRX shaft in the rear is not the same when you swap it. So there's actually 3 rear tubes. There's only 2 fronts and then 2 rears, or 2 rear steer rears. There we go. Sorry, quite confusing. There's a lot of stuff.
There we go.
Man, I really love this rig. I think this rig would have actually done better had I been able to run the rear steer like my other trigger. I will show that off in just a second, how I run my rear steer and how I'm running this one right now. I will show those radios here in just a few minutes.
Terrible.
So if I haven't made it clear already, the Slayer X is a TRX. So this is TRX differentials, with TRX Mias internals. Trying to bring this out. I was going to pull it up around, but then I was like, let's see how far this thing will actually go around. If I had the rear steer going, I might be able to keep tension on the top a little bit better, but I do not. I just could not do it. You have to let go of the front steering to do the rears, and then back and forth, and it just killed me. Not very easy, guy. And then even when I wasn't running the rears, I still hit it with my thumb, and so then they wouldn't be centered anymore. It drove me nuts, dude. Drove me nuts. But it would actually work well again if you were, running two-handed and just running the other wheel with your, thumb, and then running the steering with your other right hand.
I love my rear steer.
So there you go, dude. I wouldn't recommend trying to one-handed the Avatar and rear steer. Not a good idea. But I got a solution for you, dog. Got a solution. Really, it would work on any radio.
All right, this rig is absolutely
You could do it on the
amazing.
Avatar.
It actually feels like it
but
has
I don't
way
know
more
that I
grip
won't
than
do
mine
that.
does.
It's a cool little radio. It's just super expensive.
I love these tires. I will link these tires.
Super
and I'll have
duper
to show
expensive
how
for
I
what
made
it
them.
is. But it does work well.
Look
Look at the control, dude. These tires just hold
So
on.
good, dude.
They have squish, they have bite, they have firmness, they have control, dude. They are the ultimate oops I have ever driven. Just savagery, dude. Freaking baller tires,
Looks like
dude.
we need to
Killer.
turn up our steering. on
Killer,
the front.
killer, killer tires, dude.
We're not using all of
One-offs,
it.
though. There's none other like it because nobody else soaked them for freaking 2 weeks in WD-40. There's probably many other compounds of, whatever liquids you could soak it in, and compounds, whatever tire compounds and, whatever additives. You could soak it in and do whatever to these tires. But overall, these definitely took the day. The other ones actually, they're like, again, the other ones are like somewhere between terrible and
So hard.
awesome.
I gotta do it, like break it up. Oh, it sucks, dude.
They're so fun to drive on. These, I think, when they get broke in, will even do better and better. They'll definitely be more squish. They'll do a lot better. So,
Oh wow.
anyways, just playing around. I wasn't really seeing why we weren't making it right there,
This
what we
is
were
so
doing.
nasty.
This right here is quite a little hard section. You just have to make sure where you put your tires.
My rears come down.
If you don't hit it just right, your tire goes in the hole. So that's basically the game here, trying to avoid going in the hole. You just have to touch it up just right, and then we're going to make sure to keep pressure. Rear steer is just kind of where it needs to go. Hit the let off. Are we going to go straight up? There we have to think about it, go the wrong way. Dadgummit. See, this is when rear steer is not helpful for the most part. It'd be better if I was just running a drag axle. I wouldn't have to think about it. I would just set it up right and wouldn't have the extra weight above making the rear end unstable. All these type of things. If you plan to use rear steer like this, I would just say don't. Learn to run a drag axle. You can do a lot of cool stuff and repositions and whatever if it's over your head to run it continuously. If you're going to run rear steer, it should be run continuously all the time because it's actually your first mode of turning most of the time. Most of the time, your rear end needs to get out and swing out, and it makes the turn. And it makes the climb, makes it whatever. So it needs to be run all the freaking time, and the only way to do that is to run it separate. You can't run them together. It is not going to work out. You cannot run where the fronts and the rears go the same and then they go opposites, and that's not going to work out. Not going to work out. That's for just for stock rig. Learn just thinking it's fun. I guess I don't know. It's not. It doesn't work. Obviously, these tires are brand new. They've been on the rocks for less than 1 minute before this, and you can just see right here how much more grip than when I put my truck in this same spot. Has absolutely no grip. The fact that it just ran up right there, it just demonstrates like huge grip. So they are going to start to let go. But really, they just need to pretty much just be soaked in WD-40 every once in a while. Just not even soaked, just sprayed, and not like, again, not a lot, just a little bit, just to keep the surface moist and whatever, because they will dry out as they get run, as they get left out, and they will begin to let go. So that is probably what's going to happen. So you just got to keep them sprayed, and it's not a bad thing to spray your whole rig. You don't want to keep it, you don't want to soak all your electronics too much, but at the same time, it's not that big a deal. It's WD-40. It was made originally for electronics water displacement. That's originally what it was made for. May not have been the bestest thing to use because it does leave a little bit of a residue. So a little bit of history on WD-40 there for you. But anyways, yeah, great. It does break down the tires. But it is good for your plastic. You can spray it all over in your joints and everything like that. It helps everything to work smoothly. Typically, I use a silicone made by Blaster, like PB Blaster. It's their silicone spray. I use that on all of my joints and shafts and things like that. I always spray my rigs down, spray all the joints down. That's what this was sprayed down with. But you have to keep that off of your tires. It's silicone. It is slippery. It does not like to wash off either. It's not good. So you got to be a real control with the control tip and make sure you don't spurt it everywhere. I thought this was super controlled coming down right here. Just a little bit of extra flair. Wish we could have. Oh, dadgummit. That's what happens when you say it and you call it. So, but that's going to be the end of this guy, dude. All right, real quick. Here is my rig that I'm running. As you can see, we have dropout. We do not sit with any bends. This is how we're supposed to run the car. Quick, these are my axles. They're made for the Mias TRX. I also have Mias SCX, and I also have tubes to be able to run Mias SCX on the TRX differential, as well as vice versa, back and forth to make wider, narrower, longer, shorter, any rig you want to freaking make to be the best for your terrain. Because what is the best? It's the best for your terrain, for your skills. Let's go. All right, so on his rig, he's running on the Avatar. He has the Python Pro with the Avatar radio on the Cedar motor. I thought it was very cool, except for, again, I'm trying to drive this way and then come back over here, then back over here. If you're driving two-handed, this isn't too bad. It would not be too crazy. However, this is what I use. We have two triggers, right? That's how I run my rear steer. So I have my throttle and my steering. And yes, this is break your brain hard. However, I think this is the absolute best way to run rear steer, whether you are driving one-handed or not. It's an absolute amazing experience. If you don't believe me, let's go put on the rocks and you can see how I can drive. Those are some freaking big words, buddy. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Definitely took me a minute to get into the zone. Like I said, usually by half pack, I've got the kinks worked out and it's flowing. It is definitely a little bit sensitive still. That was a problem I was also struggling with on the other rig, trying to go slow. Just a little bit sensitive, wanting to go a little bit faster than you want to go. So I think that I probably need to add negative exponential to my throttle. I think that would be helpful, just a little bit. Because I like having the 4S, although it would probably be a lot easier to control and drive on just 2S, especially just when crawling as rear steers. So, but for as a drag axle, it would be it's super rad on 4S. It's just running the rear steer makes it a little bit more. Dadgummit, missed the freaking line. This is one, when you do run rear steer and you don't really necessarily, sometimes you want to try things and stay tight, and this is not possible, upsets the car. So all I did different right there was just swing the rear end outside. Here, look, this is what I was talking about. Rear tires are basically in the same spot as they were in the last, with the last rig. And you can see we ain't got no traction. So a couple different things. I wasn't sure. I didn't look at those. He had sent me axles and stuff like that, and I just took the parts out. So I don't know if he had overdrive, underdrive. In his Mias axles, they come overdriven. So I do not have an underdrive gear in this rig. It's just overdriven, front and rear. So it'll be super nice to actually drive this rig as it is, with an underdrive gear in the rear. What had happened was I had a couple of them, and I ended up breaking them during testing of the differentials. You see, what had happened was you have to give something for the differential plate to remain in a mechanical lock apart from the screws. I thought the screws would be enough to hold it in place, and no, they were not. So I thought my spacing was off or something like that.
No!
So I thought my spacing was off.
Oh my gosh, dude. Adding filming is making it so much harder, dude.
This dude just keeps freaking talking over me, bro. So, anyways, I thought my spacing was off, and it was not my spacing at all. It was just the fact that the screws could not hold the differential, the gear, in the right place. So, the pinion gear. So anyways, that's what happened, dude. We put little deals that go in there and make sure it can't move. And that was all it took. So, but the gears were already cooked. So anyways, we haven't driven this guy with the underdrive in the rear, so it will be super rad. I know that it was definitely a lot better with the underdrive. It's the biggest thing is when you start to get up on angle. So when you start to push it up and the fronts, when the rear tires start to weight out is when you really need the overdrive, underdrive situation. So it's also helpful in your turning, and it's also helpful in clearing the rear tires on ledges. So shooting this from the side, I pushed up a little bit in the wrong spot. So I'm going to come over here. I want to work the rear end out and back down so that we can get the front end to come up and over to the left. So this is where we want to be. It just takes a minute. You can't just come up and over. You have to kind of work it over there, or you just sit there and spin. So, but to hit the spot perfectly was just really hard at the angle. So this spot right here is a killer for all rigs, pretty much of all sizes. It actually gets worse the bigger the rig is. So it just gets worse and worse. That step off just becomes so nasty.
Slippy tires
and this thing with no bands can hit it. And then I did something like that.
That's what you get.
It's just totally driver error. It's just absolutely, this rig is phenomenal. I love this rig. Most fun rig I ever built and drove and whatever. And then today I put the correct size tire on. Hello, wave a hi to the people. Oh my gosh, I love doing it. Just keeping it controlled. That's been the fun practice is with this thing, is to keep it as controlled as possible, to put the tires exactly where I want, to stay in absolute control. And even with these slippy tires, that's why I say they're somewhere between terrible and awesome. The most fun is to be able to go over things with slippy tires, where we could have grippy tires that went right over everything. But the rear sear makes it so that we can put our tire on the exact right spot. And so can we not slip a tire with slippy tires? That's kind of like the goal, and that's what I try to do. And then on top of that, you add as much flare and nasty stank on top of it that you can. That's kind of the goal as you push forward. And then when it doesn't work out, you fall out, and then you try to correct it. And if it doesn't, you flip it back over at the bottom. It's the freaking raddest thing ever. I love driving this thing. Glorious. It's glorious. So this one right here, so what I like to try to do is to go over that, to put my front end over that rock. I do this with drag axle too. And then to step down, and then to exit on the top shelf on the right. Like not the middle shelf. It's actually the lower shelf. Jeez. So right now we're trying to use the rears to put us in the right spot. We're going to twist them back to fall over, exactly like that. So now we're back down, trying to get tension again on the rear end. Oh, we just popped out. Just a little bit too much throttle. Dadgummit, my bad. That is one of the things that, it does take a lot of practice to keep your fingers still, keep your trigger finger still while you are trying to flip the steering. Speaking of flipping, a little bit too fast, not in the right spot. Nasty. So look, just like this approach right here. This is so freaking cool that you can do this. Just put the rear end over here, and then we're gonna go back this way, put the rear end over here, and walk up this just like, it's so good, dude. So good. You can just put your tire in an extra flare spot just because, dude. Just because. It's as dope as, I freaking love this thing. So like I was saying, dude, I'd already had it made, the TRX on SCX differentials, just in the Maximus, the 5298, so like 160 millimeter wheelbase or so. And I'd already had that on there, but during testing, the only free tires that I had were XHX on Kings, I think, and they were on like 4s or 6s hubs, which means that's a monster tire for that size, and super duper wide. It was like a square, and it still performed super duper well. I was so blown away at how well it was doing, being so wide and such a big tire. So But that's all I had driven on it. I just had driven it enough just to know that, you know, all the parts were working. And I just didn't have time to like build a new set of tires or whatever. And anyways, so we just got that tried out today. It was sitting there. I had tires sitting there taken off of this rig, I think it was. Oh my gosh. So this is still more fun. It's rear steer. If you want to run rear steer, I would say TRX all the way. But take that with a grain of salt because I have not yet built a TRX on SCX24
So hard to show off,
differential
this is just like so
rear
hard.
steer. So that could be
So it's
potentially
much
the
easier without
ultimate.
the camera, I promise that.
I don't think that it can really replace this thing because of the sheer torque that it has, and just it has special things about it, the TRX. So I would imagine it could still be more capable, meaning the SCX TRX on SCX rear steer. However, you know, I don't think this still has a place for maybe still more fun. So I don't know, potentially. I had to build it to know for sure. There's no question that the TRX on SCX is going to be the most ultimate crawler you could ever. I mean, I don't. It's amazing, dude. Like for the size, and then we can go. That's at zeros, and on like a 3 lug, so like a 70 basically, 70 V pin. So we could go up on that. If we went to 6s, we could go up probably to a 76 millimeter tire on that, where we're capped out probably on a 72, maybe 74 on this rig. I don't know, something like that. That's probably going to be about, with the steering and the way that it is, you might be able to get 74 might be maximum on this rig. Where on the Evo Light with the SCX, I think we might be able to get 76 millimeter tires. So, whoa! Maybe not on the rear, but on the front we probably should. So, that means that we probably could run rigs up 180 millimeters, so the 6398 or 108. So, I will definitely be stretching to 6398, and I'll probably stay there with him for now. But I will show you the 5298 in the next video. We will show that guy off, and maybe the SCX rear steer rig that I have as well, also in the same wheelbase. Super fun rigs, dude. We have so much. I got to get the listings worked out. If you're interested, hit me up, dude. I can it just puts pressure on me to get this done. I will get it done. I'm telling you, bro, my housings, it's not necessarily going to save you any money. I'm going to try and keep it down so that it's not any more expensive than going with the aluminum versions. It is a ton of freaking parts. I got badass parts with this thing, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. And we got $10 replacements for when they break. You know, on some of the parts, I definitely would recommend having spare parts, you know, if you comp or doing things, you know, to have some spare parts, and then holler at me when they break. You know what I'm saying? So just because, you know, sometimes, you know, something happens, whatever, it's always good to have spares. So I know my team drivers have spares on a lot of their stuff. And so it's just one of those things that's great to have. That way you can just keep running, you know. I mean, you notice something or whatever, it breaks, you know, you got a comp coming up, it's ready. Then hit me up on the replacements. We'll get you taken care of. So right here, we're just freaking screwing around. It's crazy that you can hit that thing at full speed. Dude, look at this thing. I just realized that this was in the video. My mister fell down, dude. It's all deteriorated and fell down, and I haven't cleaned it up. I've been going a million miles an hour, dude. I'm letting so many people down, and so like the stress of that is like I don't even think about these things, dude. Like, gee whiz. So, anyways, we got to get caught up, dude. It's no excuses. We're gonna freaking, dude. The thing is, I have a billion parts. It's just like I don't have that for what this order is. It's like, oh my gosh. Don't worry, I'll get you, dude. And dude, if I'm gonna keep you waiting, you know, no is freaking Texoma. I got to do something special for you, so I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna get a prize. So I apologize. Please be patient with me. The wait is worth it. at least I hope it is. So, and I'll be here for you, dude, to help you through it, to make you make sense of it. And we're going to get videos to do all these things for sure. Every time I say that, these other things. But like I said, we have all of the stuff now. There's only like little things to make. Obviously we're going to be an Evo Light 2 or whatever replacement coming at some point in the future, but that's not today, right? I'm not, don't worry about that. I will potentially play with a front shock mount to maybe put it like this one. But that's just going to be an alternate shock mount, like it's not a new rig. So just things like that we'll play with. At some point I want to make a new roof, little things like that for the Evo Light. So it's freaking rad. This thing, the Slayer X, is freaking rad. We still have the other roof. This is just the cab mount, and I think that it looks super cool. In my opinion, I do actually really, really like it. So it turned out pretty freaking rad. I still think the other cab is going to be better, and I'll probably run the other cab most of the other time, just because, putting the body on and all these other things, just one more step that I don't really care about when I want to go drive in the backyard. If you've been paying attention to the driving and not my voice, I've been flowing a lot better than we push up here, and we're trying to get through this hole. There used to be another log in here, and I don't know what happened to it. It's not there anymore. So this hole is super nasty, and you kind of got to float across it. You can't really see it, but my front tire is starting to go in it. It went into it worse. Nope, not yet. There we go. Okay, so that was the reposition, I guess. I don't know. At some point, I fell in a hole. I repositioned, and we kept going. And then we flipped over and righted ourselves. Look at this. Come down right here. Look at this. The rear end is going opposite direction of the front end. I wanted to hook that log. We came down. Super dope, dude. Like, it's just like, why? Because we can, dude. Because we can. Because I saw it. I was like, hey, let's twist off of it. Twist off of it. That's just how I think. Once you clear the obstacle, the next thing to do is twist, right? Twist it up, dude. Twist it up. And that's Texoma Style, bro. That is your lesson in Texoma Style. So you go up, twist, up, twist. So original planning, I was going to exit to the left right there, and I missed it with the rears. A little bit too much. A little bit too much speed. A little bit too much back and forth with the rears. I just missed the timing. Look at this. Upside down. We're literally leaning backwards.
Are you kidding me?
Correct with the rears, dude.
Oh my god.
Savagery.
So we were trying to go the other way, but then at one point it decided to go this way, and we pulled it off, dude.
Just had to let the guy talk, dude. Oh my gosh. Absolute savagery. And then look at this. Had to work the front tire underneath that log. We worked it around it. Now we're back, going up and over.
Come on.
Oh my gosh. And this is why this is the most fun ever. Look, and then you have the torque when the log is there. You're just like, get out of my freaking way. We'll go through you, up you, around you,
Maybe
over
you
you.
see how much torque this guy has,
See,
dude.
if we went into bind, I probably could pull the trigger, but dude, it's got
Get off of
brachial
me.
torque, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I would rather keep
So
driving
fucking
and just
tight,
let
dude.
off, but
Oh
you
my
definitely
God,
could pull trigger
dude,
right
this
there
is so hard, dude.
and find out what happens. Could work just great. Could be done for the day. You don't know. You don't know. So I would rather keep driving. So I let off. I'm a lame-o. But, you know what I'm saying? In a comp or whatever, you're real serious or you just don't care. You got spare gears and things like that. Pull trigger, dude. Find out what happens. Find out what happens. The one thing that you do have to watch out is the links, right? When you start to bind, you got to watch, dude. You could potentially pull it straight out the end. You can make the tires touch. You know what I'm saying? Like... you gotta just take, gotta take it easy, dude. We got 4S power, dude. A lot of horsepower, dude. A lot of HPs, The bald eagles are screaming. So, and then when you do something silly like that and you miss your mark, that's what you get to do on the bottom. That's why it's the most freaking fun, bro. That is why it is the most freaking fun. This is so dope. And you're like, oh, okay, over here. Okay, stay up on the ledge. Nice. You see
Hey,
the
up on
tires
that
work
ledge,
in, out,
it's
in,
so
out, in,
clean,
out,
back
looking
around.
for grabs and whatever to grab and
It's just
twist the
stupid.
front end. Also, there's times where you need to be
It's
out just a little bit and then
so
back
fun.
in.
Oh my
You know,
God.
anyways, it's just helpful in your turning, just like when you're trying to army crawl.
Do the nasty,
Same
dude.
type of
Let's
thing.
get through
So
here. It will be done.
I just couldn't stop driving, dude. I just couldn't stop driving. It's so freaking fun.
Uh-oh.
A little bit too much. Now we're going back this way. But look at what we could do, bro. Look at this. Like, clear the front end. Come on. Clear the front end. There we go. There we go. Back
Don't
up
worry,
the
we got
slot. Immediately.
I go
Just,
off camera. Don't worry, we got it, dude.
oh, it's not that what it can do on the first. It's that what it can do in the reposition. It's what it can do when you when you mess up, dude. That's what makes this thing special. It's just
Close this gap.
amazing.
We'll be done. Come on, dude.
Just absolutely amazing. I love running
Or we're
rear
going in the
steer.
hole
I
and we'll be
love
done
running
either
Slayer
way.
X, dude. Oh my gosh. I love
Could end up in
Texoma
the
Style
hole. We just gotta
axles.
try to
They
line up.
are the absolute
That log fell.
shiznit.
This thing is
So,
even bigger than
I
it
didn't
used to
show
be.
you anything really about the axles, but
Freaking
the
Ranger,
knuckle
dude.
is a two-piece knuckle.
Put it.
It's
put it in
just the
steering
coolest
line.
thing ever, dude. Freaking holds the screw in there. You can't lose a screw anymore. They don't fall out. They don't waller out the hole anymore. You know, it's just captured. It's just in there. So
All right,
obviously
come
the
on,
knuckle could potentially break or these other things. So
Missed the
far,
ledge.
I haven't had a single issue in this round of knuckles. Not a single one. Not one popped off. No breaks. No nothing.
Get it up. Get it up. Get it up.
Let's go. So I don't know what we're going to do from here, dude, but it was great to float out there. Let's go. So obviously the knuckles are new. I haven't run them very much,
I know we got to get over somehow.
but I have put them through
Now what are we
abuse.
gonna
This
do?
thing has massive freaking torque.
Rip till you flip. That's what.
We've
Don't
launched
worry,
it off
we
the
ain't done.
top. We freaking pulled the trigger when we probably shouldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, no problems, dude. It's freaking rolling, dog. It is
so fun to
freaking
drive,
rolling.
dude.
So
Oh my gosh, dude! It's just I don't want to
look at him
quit.
just move, dude.
Just wanna
Look at
keep
him just
driving,
freaking
dude.
move. Caught on the front end, dude. It's all good. All freaking good. By the way, I don't have the cool little wing on my boa. I don't have a freaking current boa. It's pretty current. It just
So
doesn't
fun.
have all the cool bells and whistles, dude. Just doesn't have all the cool bells and whistles. And oh no, it does. But the battery deal. I couldn't put the yeah. It's just not finished. Anyways, dude. That's gonna do it. Rip till you flip.